Linux has this reputation for being hard and technical and only for people who enjoy suffering, which is half true but also completely wrong if you know how to approach it the right way. The problem is, most people try to learn Linux by reading 500-page books about kernel internals or watching tutorials where some guy with a monotone voice explains file permissions for 40 minutes, and then they wonder why they hate it. Here's the secret nobody tells you. Linux is actually fun to learn when you stop treating it like a textbook subject and start treating it like a playground where breaking things is the whole point. Before we dive in, if you like the way I break this stuff down and you actually want to learn hacking the right way, CyberFlow Academy isn't just another learning platform. We provide focused, advanced courses in key areas like website hacking, bug bounties, OSINT, reverse engineering, and more. Material that goes far beyond what can be taught on YouTube. Otherwise, I'll get another strike. You also gain access to our active and ambitious Discord community, where you can reach me directly whenever you need guidance. And listen, I know that cybersecurity evolves fast, so I have made a commitment to constantly update the material and add new courses. We already have 500 plus members learning, landing bounties, and applying these skills in the real world. So what are you waiting for? Join through the link in the description and use code CyberFlow50 to get a whopping 50% off, so hurry up. First big mindset shift, you need to stop being afraid of the terminal. I know it looks intimidating, just a black screen with a blinking cursor waiting to judge your every mistake, but the terminal is where Linux actually becomes fun because it's where you have real power. GUIs are training wheels. The terminal is where you start doing things faster and more efficiently than you ever could clicking through menus. Don't try to memorize commands. That's insane and unnecessary. Just start using the ones you need and Google the syntax every single time until muscle memory kicks in. I still Google tar command syntax after years of using Linux because the flags make zero intuitive sense, and that's completely fine. Start by installing Linux in a way that won't destroy your main system if you screw up. VirtualBox or VMware, install Ubuntu or Linux Mint in a VM. These are beginner-friendly distros with actual documentation and communities that won't roast you for asking basic questions. Once it's installed, resist the urge to immediately rip out the GUI and install Arch Linux like some hardened sysadmin. You're not ready for that, and pretending you are just makes learning miserable. Ubuntu is perfectly fine. It's what most servers run anyway. Learn the fundamentals first, then get weird with your distro choices later. The fun way to learn commands is to give yourself actual problems to solve instead of reading man pages. Want to learn grep? Try finding every file on your system that contains a specific word. Now you've learned grep by doing something useful. Want to learn find? Try locating all files larger than 100 megabytes to see what's eating your disk space. Find/typef size plus 100M. Boom, you just learned find and also discovered you have 50 gigs of random ISOs you forgot about. Want to learn chmod? Break the permissions on a script until it won't execute, then fix them. chmod plus x script.sh makes it executable. Now you understand permissions because you felt the pain of them being wrong. Build things that interest you instead of following tutorials that bore you to death. Want a media server? Install Plex or Jellyfin and fight with file permissions until it works. Want a local development environment? Set up Apache or Nginx, configure virtual hosts, break it 17 times, fix it 16 times, Google the 17th. Want to automate something annoying? Write a bash script that does it for you, even if it's just renaming a bunch of files or backing up a directory to another location. Every time you automate something, you're learning shell scripting without even realizing it because you're solving a problem you actually care about. Package managers are your best friends and also occasionally your worst enemy. apt on Debian-based systems, yum or DNF on Red Hat, pacman on Arch. These are how you install software and manage updates. Sudo apt update gets the latest package lists. Sudo apt upgrade installs updates. Sudo apt install package name installs new software. That's 90% of what you'll use daily. Sometimes packages aren't in the official repos, so you'll add PPAs or third-party repositories. Sometimes that breaks your system in creative ways. Sometimes you'll learn about dependency hell firsthand when one package refuses to install because it needs 17 other packages that conflict with things you already have. This is all part of the learning process, and also why you're doing this in a VM first. Learn the file system hierarchy by actually navigating it instead of memorizing a chart. /home is where your user files live. /etc is where configuration files hide. /var/log is where logs accumulate until they fill your disk. /tmp is temporary storage that gets wiped on reboot. /usr is where most installed programs keep their files. Use cd to navigate. ls to list files, pwd to see where you are when you inevitably get lost. Tab completion is magic. Start typing a file name or directory name and hit tab. It auto-completes or shows you options if there's ambiguity. This alone makes the terminal faster than clicking through a GUI file manager. Pipes and redirection are where the terminal becomes genuinely powerful. The pipe symbol takes output from one command and feeds it into another. You just chained two commands together to do something neither could do alone. Redirection with greater than saves command output to a file. Combine pipes and redirection, and suddenly you're processing data in ways that would take forever manually. Screw something up on purpose to learn how to fix it. Delete something important. Misconfigure your network settings so you can't connect to the internet. Install conflicting packages until apt refuses to work. Fill your disk to 100% capacity. chmod 000 a critical file and watch what breaks. Then fix it all. Google the errors. Read forum posts from 2009 that somehow still have the exact solution. Learn about package repair commands like sudo apt -- fix broken install. Breaking things and fixing them teaches you more than any tutorial because you're learning under pressure with a real problem to solve. Join a community where people actually help instead of telling you to read the manual. r/Linux for noobs on Reddit, Ubuntu forums, Stack Exchange, Discord servers for specific distros. These places have people who remember being confused and will actually explain things. Avoid elitist communities where asking "how do I install this" gets responses like "RTFM noob" or "if you have to ask, you shouldn't be using Linux." Those people are miserable, and you don't need that energy. Find the communities where people genuinely enjoy teaching because Linux has enough of a learning curve without dealing with gatekeepers. Don't try to learn everything at once. Linux is enormous, and even people who've used it for decades don't know everything. Focus on what you need right now. Learn basics like navigation and file manipulation. Then add skills as you need them. Today it's grep. Next week it's sed. Eventually you're writing awk one-liners and piping data through 15 commands like it's nothing. Every time you think there has to be a faster way to do this, Google it because there absolutely is. And learning that faster way is how you level up organically. Linux doesn't hold your hand, but it gives you all the tools to solve your own problems. And once you realize you can fix anything with enough Googling and persistence, you stop being scared of it and start enjoying the challenge. If you want structured learning instead of chaotic experimentation, everything you need with real labs and a community that doesn't gatekeep is in CyberFlow's Academy. First link in the description. Now, go install Linux in a VM and break something on purpose. That's where the fun starts.
You still stuck in tutorial hell? We got full courses step by step as well. Web hacking labs, real attack flow. Not click here, actually break the code. Reverse engineering, crack was inside. Gidra open, ego died. Bug bounty methods that actually scale. Find one vuln, that's grocery money mail. $29, that's it bro.